Start with breaking news from the campaign trail.
Jay Jones is under fire tonight.
Jay Jones is under fire.
Jay Jones is under fire after messages he sent in 2022 saying former Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert should be shot.
I'm excited about this ticket.
It's been great to be out on the campaign trail with Jay Jones.
You said Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views.
We deserve an attorney general who will stand up for the people of Virginia.
Jones said, quote, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head.
Let your rage fuel you.
Jones doubled down, saying, quote, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes.
How can Virginians trust a man who said something so horrific, so callously?
Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, I think it goes to show that the Democrats are really pulling their full straights here. I think that Democrats have finally shown their true colors, both in the higher in higher ups and the senators, etc. Because now this is showing exactly what's been going on here, what the Democrats idealize. So we have a garbage person, Jay Jones, pretty much advocating for the death of a Republican and his entire family, including his children. So, yeah, that's fantastic. By fantastic, I mean absolutely horrible. People can understand what I mean by that because obviously liberals can't understand nuance. But nonetheless, this is what this guy had to say here about this whole thing. And you guys are going to be kind of shocked by it all. Okay. We have this here. This is from Jay Jones, and this is what he had to say. He says, they say nice things about everyone. If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves, send them out a wash and something. Jay Jones, 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert and the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. The guy that he's responding to, which I think is which I may believe is a Republican, says, Jay, please stop. And he says, laugh out loud, okay. And then the other guy says, it really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death on them. What's worse, that this guy essentially doubles down and pretty much just says this. He says this here, you weren't simply asking questions and you know it. I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. You weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. And he says, yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. So this guy here is a fascist. This is what you would call a fascist. Because fascists force you to their will without your actual regard. And he is going to use a fascism take to go out and do this. It says, the man that is talking to him says, there isn't a point blank asked you more than 3 times, and you dug it in that you meant it. I honestly am questioning a lot today. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. That is what this guy has said. This is what this guy is saying here. This guy right here. This scumbag is what he said. And this is the family that he's talking about. So, again, I don't know about you, but last time I checked, children are pretty innocent, right? Children have no means of politics or whatever. They're the innocent of the innocent. And this guy wants to go out and murder innocent children. I mean, it's not really a surprise with the Democratic Party at this point. They're inherently evil. They're inherently bad. And the reason why I say this is because the Democrats are also supporting this type of stuff as well. He goes on to say a little bit more as well. Says, what? Hence the glowing tributes form the R's. Damn, that was for Mark. Sorry, Charlie. No worries. Talking about Joe Johnson, a D, but basically a R. Leaked everything to your caucus. It's why Gilbert gave him such a glowing tribute. I knew what you were talking about. Started with my dad, who had nice words with a little choice sprinkled in. I didn't look at that. I saw a guy died and assumed we have worse. He was a D. And I don't know what ED means, but it probably means, he's a probably a Democrat. So, yeah. So, without further ado, here's a full clip of kind of much going what is really happening here. The Democrats people are just evil at this point. Poison blank. I mean, there's not up for the discussion. And after this, I'll be showing you exactly what the Democrats' response to all this is, because it's less than wanted.
Pull the triggers, but they are inspired by the hate tolerated and encouraged by the leadership of the Democrat Party.
Jay Jones, who's running for Attorney General in Virginia, is being called to drop out of the race by a slew of Republican officials. Leaked text messages from 2022 show the Democrat calling for violence against former Republican Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his family. The text messages reveal Jones said he would rather shoot Gilbert over dictators Adolf Hitler and Pol Pot. Jones went on to say he believes Gilbert and his wife are, quote, breeding little fascists, and hoping his children would die. His Republican opponent, Attorney General Jason Miyares, slammed Jones in an open letter to all Virginians. Jay Jones wished for the violent death of a political opponent and then fantasized about that opponent's children dying. This conduct is disqualifying. Prior to this week, this race was about competing views on public safety. Now, it's about basic fitness for public office. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin responded saying, this violent, disgusting rhetoric targeted at an elected official and his children is beyond disqualifying. There's no gosh, I'm sorry here. He then called on his Democratic running mates to tell Jones to end his disgraced campaign. Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic candidate for governor, said she spoke to Jones about the text messages, but stopped short of calling for him to drop out of the race. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears, who is the Republican gubernatorial nominee, blasted Spanberger for her response. Jay Jones literally fantasized about killing a man and 2 children, and Abigail Spanberger still doesn't have the guts to tell him to drop out. But she didn't stop there. During a press conference Saturday night, Sears is now calling for Spanberger to leave the race.
So it is not enough for Jay Jones to drop out of the race. Let me be clear. Spanberger's continuing support for Jay Jones is also disqualifying her for office.
Yeah, so you get the message there. This guy actively said that you wanted to murder or at the very least fantasize of wanting to murder the Republican and his family, including his children, which is insane by every stretch of the imagination. But this goes to show that we have to say that the Democratic Party is evil, because at this point in time, this guy cannot be left to be AG. If he becomes AG of Virginia, how can Republicans, or even conservatives for that matter, feel safe after this type of response, right? You can't really feel safe if this guy is this guy responding to this, because that means if you're attacked by some person and he finds out that, oh, you're a conservative or what have you, or a Republican, that just means that your life is on the line, because he doesn't see you as a person. He wants you executed, as he said from these people here, right? So that's the insane part. And what we have here is that even MSNBC host Joe Scarborough, which is insane, he's an actual lunatic, but he's not as lunatic as some of these others, because he's calling for Dem nominee Jay Jones to stand down after the vile text leak. He says leftists, they say here that lefty MSNBC host Joe Scarborough on Monday called for a scandal-scarred Virginia Attorney General, hopeful Jay Jones should drop out of the race after vile text revealed him fantasizing about a GOP lawmaker being assassinated. The liberal Morning Joe co-host weighed in on the saga after Jones, a Democrat, sparked widespread outrage when his disturbing old text suddenly surfaced. She should be probably forced to drop out of the race, Scarborough told Morning Joe viewers on Monday. Yeah, I agree. I think he should be arrested personally. But there's one thing I can agree on with Joe Scarborough. This guy needs that at the very least, he needs to be resign and step down. At the very least. But it doesn't end there, all right, guys? Because obviously we have this here to where Virginia Dems back AG candidate Jay Jones despite the sinister text messages. Yeah, that's right. So the Democrats still back this man, even though he said all these things. And we have this here on what their statement is. And they say this. Virginia Beach, the Virginia Beach Democratic Committee reaffirms its full support of Jay Jones for Attorney General. We are lined up, 10 toes down, ready to organize, mobilize, and deliver voters for Jay and our entire Democratic ticket. Recent press may have spotlighted past mistakes. We say we let those without saying cast the first stone. J. Jones has taken responsibility, apologized, and shown he is committed to serving with integrity and accountability that his public record already shows. Virginians deserve a leader who learns, grows, and stands for everyday people, and Jay is that leader. Jay Jones is a stark contrast to Jason Mraz in every way. In his tenure, Mraz has failed to stand up for Virginia families' concerns or values. He has not defended women's reproductive rights, workers' rights, or protected the hundreds of thousands of Virginians who are on the verge of losing access to their health care benefits and service providers. The FBDC is calling for all Virginians to line up behind Jay Jones. Together in November, we defend democracy and secure leadership in the Attorney General's office that truly serves all the people of Virginia. So yeah, even the Democrats of Virginia, these people here, are siding with him, which means they're also siding for the people to for the family of that people to be executed, to be removed. And Africa Brand here has something to say about this, right? She says, seriously, how did we get here? How could Blue Virginia or any call for Democrats to unify behind Jay Jones after what he said? This is a lapse in judgment or a careless text. It's a window into something darker. A man who has lost his humanity. A man with a soul so warped by rage and moral decay that it sees violence as virtue. If any Republican and any human being had said what Jay said, I could never support that person. Period. There has to be a line. A moral line you won't cross unless you've lost the ability to see it. But it's clear from Virginia Blue's polls that the vanity Democrats don't see it anymore. Their reflex isn't to condemn, it's to circle the wagons, to defend, to rationalize, to whisper about accountability while screaming a pledge for unity. Unity behind what? Behind a man who fantasized about 2 bullets for an opponent or the political assassination of children? Yeah, that's a pretty big one, isn't it? You can't believe in God or be at all unbroken and call for the political assassination of children. You can't preach justice and glorify violence. You can't claim to stand for democracy while celebrating those who dream of silencing others with bullets. What does that say about the psyche of those who cheer him on? About a party that rewards cruelty, that's numb to its own sickness? That's traded conscience to tribalism. And by some stance, Jay Jones does become Virginia's highest-ranking law enforcement officer. Will Democrats feel even a flicker of remorse for what they've unleashed? Will they mourn and what it says about them? And what about what's become of our parties or morality or humanity? Because make no mistake, this is about one man's fall. It's about our parties. Yeah. So, again, at some point you have to say, I can't support this anymore. This is easily that point. Yeah, I agree. And it just shows that the Democratic Party are dangerous. They are dangerous. They should be labeled a terrorist organization. Because if they're going to go with this, then anybody else is in favor of it. They want Republicans to die. That's it. That's all you can really say, because there is nothing else that you can really go out and say, oh, they don't want this, but that's showing that they do. They do want this. Now, he has apologized. I'm pretty sure it's hollow because he's getting massive backlash from everybody across the aisle. And I think it might be time for him to step down. I think it's time. But he's apologizing, so let's give him a break, guys, right?
3 years ago suggesting he would like to shoot the Speaker of the House of Delegates. Earlier today, Jones said in a statement, quote, I take full responsibility for my actions and I want to issue my deepest apology to Speaker Gilbert and his family. Reading back those words made me sick to my stomach. I am embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry. I have reached out to Speaker Gilbert to apologize directly to him, his wife Jennifer, and their children. I cannot take back what I said. I can only take full accountability and offer my sincere apology. Virginians deserve honest leaders who admit when they are wrong and own up to their mistakes. This was a grave mistake, and I will work every day to prove to the people of Virginia that I will fight for them as Attorney General. The series of texts was first reported by the National Review. He reportedly sent Delegate Carrie Coiner text about hypothetically shooting Speaker Todd Gilbert back in 2022 and wishing violence upon his children. Delegate Coiner has confirmed Jones sent her a number of text messages, several of which read, Jones writes, 3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time.
Yeah, so you get the gist, right? He apologizes, but he's apologizing because this guy got caught, and now that this guy got caught, he's backstepping, right? He's falling back because obviously it's not good. It's not good for him to see this, so he has to step back and apologize. Otherwise, he won't get elected, and he shouldn't be. And of course, the Democrats are going to step alongside with him because they conservatives, they don't like us, and they want us dead. And they're showing that very truthfully here after their statement. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.